friends, welcome back and welcome if you're new. In today's video, I thought it would be fun to share just kind of a week of cooking with all of you. I'm going to be sharing a handful of really quick, easy, relatively healthy dinners that I'm feeding myself and my family this week. And so if you're looking just for meal inspiration ideas, this is the video for you. But without further ado, let's get cooking. But before we dive into the delicious dinner recipes for the week, I wanted to take a moment and kindly thank Wild Grain for sponsoring today's video. Wild Grain is the first ever baked from frozen subscription for sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, fresh pastas, and more. I love my monthly box, you guys. It's just been such a fun mix in addition to my weeknight cooking. You can build your own box, which is awesome. I like to get the classic box, but if you're plant-based or gluten-free, there are options for you. And unlike traditional store-bought sourdoughs, Wild Grain uses the true slow fermentation process that's easier to digest, and you get all of those good nutritional sourdough benefits. I think my favorite thing is that everything, the breads, the pastries, you bake right from the freezer. So if I'm cooking dinner and I want a fresh loaf of sourdough, I just run to the deep freeze, pull it out, pop it in the oven, and it's ready when dinner's ready. It's ready in about 25 minutes, and it just doesn't get easier than that. It is so good, you guys. I love that they're responsibly sourced and you're supporting small local bakeries around the country. I just think it's such a neat concept. But what I especially love are their seasonal goodies. Let me show you a couple things that were in my box this month. Okay, first up here we have some butternut squash and cheese ravioli. Oh, I love their fresh pastas, you guys. It's the only way. It truly is. It's so, so good. I cannot wait for the perfect chilly fall night to cook this up. What I think I'm most excited for, and I may honestly bake these up for my kiddos for an after-school snack this afternoon, are these apple cider donuts. They're frozen, but oh man, I can see the cinnamon sugar crust on them. There is nothing like an apple cider donut to make you feel like you're walking around a pumpkin patch, and having these fresh from my oven are gonna be so good. I can't wait. And then of course we have our traditional sourdough loaves, some ciabatta bread, and a couple other goodies. But all that to say, I have yet to have an item from Wild Grain that I have not loved. If you want to check out Wild Grain, use the link down in my description below and use code AmyFritz in all caps to get $30 off your first box, as well as free croissants for life, which it doesn't get better than that. So definitely check out that link down below and check out all those good seasonal baked goods. They're so delicious, you won't regret it. Hey guys, so it's night one of cooking dinner with you, and tonight we're making one of my favorite recipes. It's a high protein, high fiber white chicken enchilada. And this recipe is awesome because it takes all of the delicious elements of white chicken enchiladas, but there's a few twists I'll share that make it a little bit healthier and still so delicious. This is a great recipe you can make ahead of time if you're a busy mom. It's something I'll often make in the afternoon when I have some downtime, and then it's ready to just pop in the oven whenever we're ready to eat dinner. And then on the side, I'm gonna make a black bean salad just for some color. It's kind of like a cowboy caviar. Just add some color and it will be a beautiful addition to our plate. So anyway, let's get cooking. First things first, you're gonna need some cooked shredded chicken. Rotisserie works really well in a pinch, but any kind will do. About 1.5 pounds. You're gonna want some kind of high fiber tortillas. This totally changes the recipe. It gives you so much more fiber and it lowers the calories quite a bit. These are only 60 calories per tortilla and 15 grams of fiber, so really, really good. You're gonna need some kind of cheese. I'm gonna use Pepper Jack and Monterey Jack. Those are my favorites. You're gonna need some butter, onion, 1 can of green chilies, and then some other swaps. I do Greek yogurt in place of cream or sour cream, and then bone broth in place of regular chicken broth. It's just higher protein, and there's so many good benefits to bone broth for your joints, for your immune system, all that good stuff. I do have some roasted Verde salsa to top it with.
I don't know if I'm going to use that or not. And then I also have cilantro to top it with as well.
So let's get cooking. I'm starting out by grating my cheeses here. I love freshly grated cheese. It just tastes so much better in my opinion. And then we're gonna start sauteing the onions. We just want them to get translucent. We want them to get fragrant. And then I'm actually gonna add in my cooked chicken to the pan. That way everything combines nicely. I can season everything together. And I'm just using some really simple seasonings like garlic powder and paprika. And this is going to be the filling of our enchilada. Then I'm throwing all of that into a mixing bowl, and to that I'm adding some Greek yogurt. This is one of those healthier swaps. It's high protein. We're going to add the cheese in as well, and it's just a little bit healthier than your typical sour cream or heavy cream in this dish. Then we're going to assemble our enchiladas. I'm taking one high fiber tortilla, putting about a cup, maybe 3/4 cup of the filling, rolling it up and putting it in a greased 9x13 baking dish. And I'm just gonna do this on repeat until I do 10 enchiladas. To me, life is all about balance, and it's about finding things you enjoy eating and just figuring out ways to make them a little bit healthier. I love Mexican food. It's one of my favorite foods in the world. And so this recipe has been a game changer for me in my health journey, and just learning how to make those swaps to get in some more fiber, to get in some more protein is really a beautiful thing. But now that we have our dish assembled here, I'm gonna get started on the white sauce. I am gonna start with some butter and then just about a tablespoon of flour to make a roux, but I'm gonna use bone broth here instead of chicken broth for more protein. I'm adding 1 can of green chilies, and then again, I'm gonna add some Greek yogurt in place of sour cream or heavy cream, and a little bit more cheese, because why not?
What I'm gonna do now is take the cheese sauce that we made together with the bone broth and the Greek yogurt and the cheese and the green chilies. I'm gonna pour it over top the enchiladas, and then I can either put them in the oven immediately, or at that point I can cover the enchiladas and bake them whenever I'm ready. Don't those look so good? I'm gonna cover these in foil and pop them in a 375-degree oven for about 20 minutes.
While our enchiladas are in the oven, I'm gonna quickly whip up a black bean salad. I did not follow a recipe, I measured with my heart, and this is just something I will do when I'm eating foods that I wanna control my portions a bit. I'll add a high volume, nutrient dense salad with veggies, fruits, whatever I have on hand. Tonight I'm going for more of a cowboy caviar style salad. I did add some cucumber. I wish I had red pepper. That would have made this even better. But I'll put what I did down in the description below. But lots of fresh cilantro, lime juice, salt, black beans, corn, avocado, just lots of good whole foods to make my dinner go farther and just add some more nutrients. And when these piping hot enchiladas come out of the oven, the whole house smells amazing. This is what my plate looked like. It was so good. It is night 2 of What's for Dinner this week, and tonight's meal is something I love because it comes together in just about 30 minutes. Everything goes on one sheet pan, so cleanup is really easy, but it's a simple chicken, sausage, and gnocchi sheet pan. And I love this because you can just kind of use what you have on hand. I have chicken sausage here that I get from Aldi. It's the tomato and basil flavor. It's the brand Never Any, I think, yeah. So it has no antibiotics, no hormones, no nitrates, none of that bad stuff. Got 2 packages of that. Then I just have some potato gnocchi here. You can obviously get this anywhere that sells pasta. I've also tried cauliflower gnocchi, and that's delicious too. You can go gluten-free, whatever your needs are, just any kind of gnocchi will work. And that's gonna be our base. Now the fun part is for the rest of the dish, you can just use what you have and cater it to your liking and preferences. I usually just pull whatever veggies I need to use up. So tonight I have some asparagus, a sad looking zucchini, And then I'm gonna do some cherry tomatoes. I love the way that these pop in the oven. If you had basil, I don't think I have any basil right now. If you had mushrooms, like you could just add whatever veggies you like. And then for sauce, or just kind of what I'm coating everything in, you could keep it really simple with just olive oil and Italian seasonings. That would be simple and delicious. But I'm going to take it up a notch, and I'm gonna use pesto to coat everything in. And I'm gonna use this sun-dried tomato pesto, again from Aldi, but any store-bought or homemade pesto would work. And I'm also gonna throw in some sun-dried tomatoes too on the sheet pan. What I love about this recipe is that it is as simple as chopping everything up, throwing it on a sheet pan or 2 sheet pans if you wanna double the recipe. And then I coated everything first in the sun-dried tomatoes and the sun-dried tomato oil instead of regular olive oil. It gives really good flavor. And then I just took probably 5 or 6 spoonfuls of that pesto and just kind of drizzled it over the pan. And as it baked in the oven, it melted and combined. But I did 15 minutes and then pulled it out, tossed it in another 15 minutes. And this is how it came together. So delicious, you guys. You have to try this one.
Okay, before I call my kids in here and it gets crazy, I just wanted to show you, I'm just serving mine up in a bowl like so. This is a huge bowl, so it doesn't look like a lot, but it is. You could easily serve this with a big dinner salad, maybe a big loaf of crusty bread would be delicious. There are lots of ways you could make this go farther. You know, the gnocchi really serves as that carb source for me in this dish. And so I've got the protein with the chicken sausage and then the veggies. So it's a complete meal by itself too. The other beautiful way to do this is to double it or even triple the recipe and make it for dinner one night and then have it for meal prep for the week. This reheats really, really well. But I wanted to show you because we all got to be fancy every once in a while. I like to top mine with freshly grated Parmesan. It's the only way. So you can see I've got my Parmesan here and we will do a little taste test. Okay, once you have oven roasted gnocchi, it's hard to have it any other way. Sorry, I feel like I have food in my mouth. It's so much better than boiling it in a traditional cooking format because it stays doughy, but it gets crispy on the outside. So the texture is beautiful. Oh, who doesn't love gnocchi? Chicken sausage is really, really good too. And again, I love the addition of the pesto. I use the sun-dried tomato oil instead of olive oil just for more flavor too. If you're like us and you're in a busy season of life, this 30-minute sheet pan dinner is a must. You have to let me know if you try it. It's so good. Hey guys, popping back in with another dinner recipe tonight. We're all home right now, so if you can hear background noise, that's why. Everyone's home just kind of hanging out. We don't have anything on the agenda tonight, which is so nice. We're just gonna enjoy a beautiful fall evening. But tonight we're making one of my favorites. This is one of my kids' favorites too. It is so delicious, it's so comforting, and that is my turkey meatloaf muffins. This comes together in about 30 minutes, so it's relatively quick and easy. This is everything that goes into the meatloaves. I have 93% lean ground turkey. I have 2 pounds. I've got 2 eggs, some tomato paste, an onion, panko breadcrumbs, any plain or seasoned breadcrumbs would work though. I just like panko. Some Worcestershire sauce, some minced garlic. I'll use salt and pepper too. I just didn't get it out yet. And then also thyme, rosemary, onion powder, and milk. And then I'm gonna top the muffins with some ketchup before they go in the oven. That's totally optional, but this is relatively simple. I'm gonna saute up the onion, tomato paste, and garlic and Worcestershire first. I find that softening or sauteing the onion and then putting it into the meatloaf just adds a ton of flavor. Okay, we have our onion sauteed. It smells so good with that garlic and the Worcestershire. It has so much flavor. But while I'm gonna get the meatloaf ready, I have Emma trimming our green beans. That's our veggie tonight. We're gonna roast up on a sheet pan.
What I love about the muffins instead of traditional meatloaf is that it only takes 25 minutes to bake. So dinner can be ready, in 30 minutes or so. This comes together so quickly. You could also add oats in place of breadcrumbs if you wanted this to be gluten-free or even just a little bit healthier, but I like the flavor of the breadcrumbs, so I stick with that. You want to combine everything, but you don't want to over mix. You just kind of gently toss it until everything's mixed, and then you can do your individual muffin tins. I always grease them up, and you can also double this recipe and you'll have lunch for the week. I do that all the time. I probably make this recipe probably about twice a month, and it reheats really well. And of course, we like to do ketchup on top, but that's totally optional.
Okay, meatloaves are ready to go into the oven. I have the oven preheated at 400 degrees. I also have the green beans that Emma cut for us, and I just drizzled these with olive oil and salt and pepper, and that's it. And these are both gonna go in the 400-degree oven for about 25 minutes or so. And then normally when I make this recipe, I do other sheet pan veggies. I usually do like baby potatoes, work really nicely with this, but I didn't have any potatoes, so I'm actually gonna make some cauliflower. I had a head of cauliflower I needed to use up, but I'll show you how I'm gonna prepare that in just a minute. I'm just gonna drizzle that with olive oil, garlic powder, salt and pepper, and some Parmesan cheese I just grated. And it's actually gonna go into my air fryer at 400 degrees for about 15 minutes. So I'm trying to time it out to where it'll be done the same time as the meatloaves, and then everything should come together. Okay, muffins came out beautiful. I pulled the cauliflower and the green beans. I wanted to show you before it gets chaotic in my house what my plate looks like. You can see I've got 2 meatloaf muffins. They are so good. I may end up having a third. Got the roasted cauliflower and the green beans, and this is such a yummy, cozy weeknight meal.
Okay, fourth and a final evening of making dinner with you guys this week, and tonight we're gonna make some delicious chicken and rice soup. I love this recipe in the fall months. It's very cozy and warm, but it's still really healthy and delicious. This is a dairy-free soup recipe, so it's more of a broth base, which is perfect for us tonight. I've actually had a little bit of a tickle in my throat, and I think fall allergies are getting the best of me, Caleb as well, and so I just wanted a warm bowl of soup for dinner. I may end up heating up some wild grain sourdough as well tonight to go along with it, but we'll see. Regardless, this is such a simple recipe, and what I love about it is everything cooks in one pot. Most of the cook time, it's just simmering, so it's a very hands-off dish. This is something you can prepare hours in advance and let simmer on the stove all afternoon. It's great for a busy weeknight or even just a Saturday afternoon. So let's go ahead and dive into the cooking.
Simple ingredients. Again, another reason I love this recipe so much. You want some chopped onion, 1 whole onion, 2 or 3 carrots, and 2 or 3 stalks of celery. That's gonna be your base. We're gonna start by softening these veggies in our stock pot with some olive oil and garlic. And then I just have some chicken breast here. Any kind of chicken would work, chicken thighs work, doesn't really matter. You just want about 1.5 pounds, give or take 2 pounds would be fine too. Some white rice, some broth of choice. You can use chicken, vegetable stock, whatever. I'm gonna use bone broth because it's higher in protein. And then as far as seasonings go, I just have salt and pepper, thyme, and parsley. So very, very simple, and this comes together pretty quick.
I think that aromatic sauteing on the stove is probably one of the most nostalgic, amazing scents of all time. especially in the fall. It's just, oh, it's so good. And this recipe comes together so fast, you guys. You could easily add heavy cream to this recipe and make it a creamy chicken and rice soup. But like I had mentioned, I'm actually battling a cold. I still am. And so I wanted to keep it broth based, just a little bit healthier that way too. But I add my rice right to the pot with my sauteed veggies once those are soft, combine everything, and then all you have to do is add your broth. I'm doing 4 cups of broth here, and then I'm gonna add 4 cups of water as well. So equal parts broth and water. And then we're gonna add the chicken right into the pot. So easy, it doesn't get easier than this, you guys. We're gonna cover it and let it simmer for 30 minutes. And that's basically it. It comes together so quick.
Okay, it's been about 30 minutes, so our rice and chicken should be done in there. I'm gonna give this a good mix, pull the chicken out, shred it, and add it back to the pot. Added the chicken back in. I also added about a cup of water because it was looking a little thick, some more salt, pepper, and some parsley. And this looks so delicious. I'm just gonna let this simmer until we're ready to eat dinner. Okay, we're not gonna have dinner for like another hour or two, but I'm starving. My family, not everyone's home yet, just kind of waiting on them. So I'm gonna have a little bowl now and then I'll eat another one later. So when I serve it up for dinner later, I'm gonna serve it with some bread and butter and a big dinner salad. But this soup is seriously so nourishing. It's perfect for this time of year. I love it. I love to add it into the weeknight rotation because it's so simple and easy. One pot. It's, yeah, low dishes, love it. But I hope you enjoyed today's video and you got lots of dinner ideas for your family this week. Let me know down in the comments if you're gonna try any out, and all of the recipes will be in the description below, so definitely check that out. And I'll see you guys really soon in my next video. Bye.